Now, reporters see stories everywhere. We can't help it. It's just in our DNA. And stories, of course, as everyone knows, depend on characters. And as we've been reporting this story, the character that presses itself in on us, that is unavoidable, that's everywhere, is the earth itself. What was the force that didn't just make buildings fall down, but that shattered them, that brought them down to their elemental level of bricks and dust, that caused so much destruction so that the very hillsides seem to be in the act of reshaping themselves? Vast mountainsides collapsing down into valleys, landslides going off all the time. Perhaps the most compelling experience that proved that to me was lying in a tent at night trying to sleep in one of these mountain villages when these aftershocks were coming through, and not only feeling the ground jolt and shake underneath us, but also hearing a sound that I'd never heard before. My ear was to the ground, and it was like these massive, deep moans that were coming as the shock waves were coming through the earth, something I have never experienced before anywhere, and something I'll never forget. Now, plainly, this was someone's bedroom, and one of the inescapable aspects of a disaster is loss. There has been so much of it in this tragedy. The thing which brought it home to me, I think, probably more than anything, the saddest thing, was seeing the children from Beach 1 Middle School playing ball, walking around with their friends, and recognizing that fewer than half of their number, fewer than half of the children who went to school that day lived out that day. And when you look at those children's faces, apparently normal on the outside, but then starting to tell you stories, telling about how they saw their classmates trapped in the rubble, about how they would try and scrabble down to them, how they managed to get some water to their trapped classmates, only over time to watch them die inside the rubble. Those are children who have seen things which they will never ever be able to expunge from their memories, and some of those children themselves lost both parents in the same disaster. That is loss. The other absolutely indelible impression that's come out of all of this has been the resilience of the Chinese people, the way in which again and again we've seen people who've lost so much working so hard, putting aside their immediate griefs to retrieve stuff from the rubble, to help themselves everywhere they can. These survivors are true survivors. They've had outside help, but they've done so much to help themselves. And I think if there is another lasting impression, it is that, the stoicism and the courage of the people of China in this earthquake zone. Hugh Riminton, CNN in Sichuan Province in China.